Hey, all you StarCraft 2 fans, Pearl World Baby here, and I have another game to cast for you guys today. This one was played by me on the ladder against Cheeto, who is the blue Protoss in the bottom right-hand position, and I am the red Protoss in the top right-hand position. The map is Entombed Valley, and this is one of the two new maps they put in, and I like it pretty much a lot. Like, it's one of my favorite maps. Yeah, so it's PvP and not cross spawn, but the rush distance is still pretty far. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Any kind of like, I don't know, any kind of 4 gates or anything, it'll take a little bit longer for them to get there. Actually, I mean, it'll take about the same amount of time to get there. You just have to send the probe a little bit earlier to put down the pylon, because obviously Protosses can warp their units in anywhere. There's a little probe love right there. They're kissing, I don't even know. So I'm going for a 13 gateway and he's going for a 12 gateway. So he'll have his gateway a little bit earlier than me, but not too much, which means he does block it here a little bit. This is a little annoying, but he only delayed me about 2 seconds. So his gateway is about 15 seconds ahead of mine, which means he will probably get warp gate about 15 seconds ahead of me. If he goes for 4 gate and I don't, and he gets all this extra chrono boost, then it might be up to like 30 seconds ahead of mine, which would really give him an opportunity to push me. So I definitely will need to get some sentries to be able to delay that by force fielding the ramp over and over again. Yeah, so I have my first gas coming up now. He just had his coming up, his gateway's finishing. I'm using my probe to zap away this pylon to see if I can get it here. That'd be pretty embarrassing, actually, if you gotta let your pylon get killed by a probe. But it could happen. At the very least, maybe I'll do some hull damage to it, and I might come in here. And that extra damage might allow me to kill the pylon a little bit faster, or maybe just I wouldn't have killed it if I didn't get this damage on it. So I'm scanning around my base with this pylon, this probe right now, because I feel like he might have been putting pylons down. That's actually a pretty good strategy for the probe. If you're just in your opponent's base, like checking their chrono boost energy and when they're like what they're chrono boosting, if you go back and forth to the corners of their base, you'll make them feel uncomfortable and force them to send scouts over there. He does pick off my probe there against the minerals. Yeah, you'll make them feel uncomfortable and make them scout their base, and that just makes them have less minerals, because that means the probe that's scouting isn't mining. Yeah, so I have 3 gateways down now. I am pretty sure that he was going to 4 gate me when I was scouting his base, because he does have a lot of chrono boost energy saved up. And I don't think, yeah, I haven't watched this replay, but I'm not sure if he actually does 4 gate me or not. We'll get that probe kill with the stalker. Nope, my stutter step micro is terrible. He's probably going to slip away. Nope, it looks like I'm making chase to him. He's starting to regain shield though. So yeah, I'm just going to turn around. I don't want to get caught out of position. There comes his stalker, and his probe and his stalker could easily beat my stalker if they fought together. I would get the probe kill though. So I am going to throw on 4th gateway now. His stalker decides not to come up. My stalker's right there to defend. I was scanning around here for any pylons, because I'm still not sure if he's going to 4 gate me or not. He does have 3 stalkers out, which means basically he's just trying to stop my 4 gate. Normally when you see a 4 gate coming, it'll be a zealot and a stalker making his way across the map. And if you have 3 of your own stalkers, you'll easily be able to deal with the stalker and the zealot and kill the probe, and then even kill the pylon if it's put down. So this is actually a really good build by him. This 4 gate by me wasn't supposed to be aggressive. It was a defensive 4 gate, because I thought he was going to go 4 gate, but he does go 2 gateways, robotics facility, and gets a Twilight Council. So he's probably going to be going for Blink Stalkers here. Might be teching up to Dark Templar Rush, something like that. He is putting down a 3rd gateway now. The robotics facility will be able to build Immortals, and he might tech to Colossus. He'll definitely get an Observer, be able to spot any of my observers, snipe them, be able to spot Dark Templar, and then just be able to scout my base in general. So I'm still not sure right now whether he's 4 gating me or not. I had the feeling he was or at least that he was going to do some sort of pressure. So I am building units out of my gateways. I'm not producing probes, which means he probably has passed me in probe production. Yeah, he's 2 probes ahead of me now. So this is pretty good by him. He did a little bit of metagame there, leaving the Chrono Boost energy pretty high on his Nexus at the cost of slightly less economy, but it makes up for it because now obviously he's passing me in economy. So he's getting a proxy pylon here. Looks like he is going for blink technology, so he'll probably be producing all stalkers out of these warp gates, maybe 1 sentry to guard his ramp from any counterattacks. Yep, looks like he's making all stalkers. So once that finishes, I would expect to see some kind of pressure. I did send this Zelda out right now because I feel like he didn't 4-gate me because he waited too long. And then I saw these stalkers, and I'm like, okay, it's definitely blink stalkers because there's no other reason he would be getting only stalkers. Because normally he wouldn't have that second gas, and he would build some zealots because you can get out more units. But so I do assume that he's going for a blink now. I did not see that observer yet. He does get 1 zealot here to go scouting around, I guess. So he does have, what is he at, 9 stalkers and zealot. I only have 7 stalkers, but I have a ton more zealots and a ton more zealots. So right now I would love him to come up my ramp because I would force field. He would just blink away, but I'd probably be able to snipe at least 1 sentry or 1 stalker, probably the zealot too. Obviously I can't blink. So he does have an observer here. This is really annoying, where he can blink up and down and snipe my buildings. This isn't the best map for it because there's not that much area. He can probably blink from here over to here, but all this area he can blink on, my army's basically right there. So if he blinks up, he's going to die. He does manage to snipe this pylon and unpower that robotics facility. Wasn't really building anything anyway. I'm going for a robotics bay technology now so I can get out those Colossus. So he just have me pinned in my base right now. I'm deciding that's just silly that he would try to do that because my army's far more powerful than his. His is just more maneuverable. So I do get 1 stalker kill there. He blinks through my force fields, obviously. So I'm going to kill his pylon and probably that probe too. Nope, the probe's going to get away. Oh no, he's just going to chill there. So he's retreating back to his base with this expansion. I do not know about that expansion yet because I haven't built an observer, so I'm Chrono Boosting that out now. I forgot a little bit. I should have built that way earlier. It's also going to delay my Colossus time because the robotics facility is finished now. But you can't really afford to skip that observer unless they're pressuring you like right there. If he was still pinning me in my base, I probably would just Chrono Boost out the Colossus and then break his pin. But since he already did leave, I'm going to go for that observer first because scouting is really, really important, especially in PvP. If he hadn't gone for this Nexus, I wouldn't build my Nexus, probably. Actually, I probably would have anyway, because I definitely would have known that my army was still better than his, even though he's still going for Blink Stalkers, because on top of my army just being bigger, I would have had the Colossus, which Colossus are really good against Blink Stalker. I mean, they're not really good against Blink Stalkers, but the thing is, when you're going with Colossus, say I went for a 3 Colossus timing push and he only had Blink Stalkers, it seems really like a good idea. It's like, hey, I'm just going to blink into that army and snipe the Colossus. But that's a terrible idea because he's blinking into my Zealots and everything. I'm just going to pull back those Colossus as soon as he blinks into me. He might be able to snipe one, but if I'm up to 3, he's basically just exposing himself to all my Zealots and all my Stalkers. And then they can do the work, go to town on his Stalkers. And once he's got no Stalkers left, and all his Warpins, he's basically done. He doesn't have an Immortal here. He's now has his own Colossus technology. That's currently boosting those out. Go back to the production tab. We're both making 1 Colossus at a time. We're not going for double robotics bay or robotics facility. I don't know why anybody would go for double robotics bay. That'd just be silly. But I'm getting my expansion now. His was about a minute faster than mine, so his economy will still be better than mine. On top of what was already better than mine earlier. So he definitely has an advantage in this game. If you look at the probes, he's got 38. I have 24. I do have an army advantage on him slightly now, but probably not enough that if I pushed him, that I would be able to break him. Well, now that I'm looking at this, if I'd attacked right now, I might have been able to make something happen, but I'm not sure. Because I have a Colossus advantage, and I think my range is going to finish before his. Yeah, my range is already, no, my range isn't started yet. So I wouldn't have had range, but I would have at least had the Colossus advantage, and if I had attacked before his range finished, might have been able to make something happen with all my Zealots, because they're obviously very good tanks against the Stalkers. Not so much against the Colossus, but they're pretty good against the Immortals too. So he is keeping good scouting in the middle. He's got an Observer here, maybe patrolling, and he's got a probe at the Watchtower. He still even has this pylon over here that I didn't kill. I think I know about that pylon too. Do I? Oh, wrong vision. No, I don't. If I knew about that pylon, I would definitely go kill it. But unfortunately, I didn't see it. So I'm telling my Colossus to kill these destructible rocks. You might as well tell more units to kill these. I wasn't planning on taking my third very soon anyway, so I don't really worry about it. That Colossus can just have a heyday on those rocks. So I do have my second up in mining now. Looks like he might be sending a probe down here for his third, yes. Oh, that was really annoying. I never saw that. But, he'll be on 3 base. Actually, I get my third right now, too. So our thirds are basically exactly the same time. His hair ahead of mine. But I am beating him on the Colossus count still by 1. And I do decide to throw down another robotics facility right over here soon. So I'll be double pumping Colossus, which you can easily do off 3 base. You can do it off 2 base and just basically build all Zealots. But you can definitely do it off 3 base. So that was my plan in this game. Unfortunately, I'd never scouted his base. Okay, he hasn't put it down yet, but he has his own 2 robotics facilities, so he'll match my Colossus production. I still actually haven't put mine down yet, but I guarantee you guys I do it soon. So he's up to 4 Colossus, I'm still at 4 Colossus. Both have that range upgrade finished, and on the gateway units, I'm still beating him. I have 12 Zealots and 11 Stalkers. He's got 14 Stalkers and 3 Zealots. He does have the blink upgrade, and I don't think he has charge. Nope, no charge upgrade for him, because that would just be silly. He only has 4 Zealots, so he's now up to 5 Colossus. So this is kind of a standard PvP game after the little early game rushing madness ends. Normally it goes into a ton of Colossus with some kind of icing on the cake, where the Colossus are the meteor army basically, and you have a couple gateway units. I have more gateway units than you normally would have, just because I was expecting a lot of pressure in the early game. But normally you go for something along with the Colossus, like Archons or Dark Templar or Void Rays or something like that. And I'm going for the Archons right now. See, I'm getting the Templar Archives. I do have the 2 robotics facilities now. And if you see, my gas is about to drop like crazy because I'm going to warp in more High Templar. So if you look at the supply count, that basically tells the story of the game right there. He's 30 supply ahead of me, which is never a good thing. The probes, he's beating me by a little bit less than 20, and that's just ugly for me. We are both getting the +1 attack upgrade at relatively the same time, and he's also getting a pylon in the middle of the map, which tells me, watching this replay, he's probably gearing up for an attack soon. Unit count now, I am at 6 Colossus, and he's at 8, so he's actually past me in the Colossus now. I am producing out of 2 robotics facilities at a time, and he isn't. He's done making his Colossus for now, at least. So let's see. His army's moving out now with 9 Colossus, an Immortal, 3 Zealots, 21 Blink Stalkers, and 3 Sentries. He's even got 2 Observers, which is good. He still has that proxy pylon from earlier. If I pause the game here, I have 7 Colossus, 11 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, 2 Archons, and 12 Zealots. And I did just finish the +1, and so did he, I believe. Yeah, so we both do have the +1 attack, and let's see how this fight goes. So I do have a pretty good concave on him, but he's actually got a concave on me at the same time. Actually, neither of us really had a concave, I guess. But I will pull back. I do see he's got a ton of Colossus. He sees I have a ton of Colossus. He's got more Stalkers than me, and he does have the blink upgrade, which is going to give him an advantage. I still did keep my Archons alive. They have a ton of health, and they're really, really good at soaking up the damage from the Colossus, because when you shoot an Archon, it's so big that you normally don't do area damage to very many units around the Archon. So Colossus only does 34 damage to an Archon and not really to anything else. See, so all the classes were shooting those 2 Archons and basically saved my gateway units to fire for about 5 seconds. So he does finish, and what I'm doing here is I've split out my Colossus as much as possible, because when you do attack Colossus, it'll hurt the 2 Colossus to the side. And if you see, I did have actually less Colossus than him in that fight, but since my superior micro, I didn't actually lose very many Colossus. I think I lost 1 Colossus, and he lost all, like, 9 of his. So a couple of my Colossus are really hurt, but that was a really big victory for me, considering that my army was actually smaller than his. Unfortunately, at the same time, he did blink up 5 Stalkers that killed all my probes at my second base, which is actually a huge, like, blow to me, because that's where the majority of my probes were. So he does have a ton of money in the bank. At the same time now, I'm going to push out and hopefully push my Colossus advantage, since I know I have more Colossus than him right now. I have 8. He has 1 with a couple Stalkers. He sees us coming. He's like, oh shit. But at the same time, he does have 2 Void Rays, which I don't have any anti-air. I was worried about this in the game, and I see them, and I'm like, oh no, this is just terrible. So I'm forced to run away. He does snipe my Observer right there, and the Colossus, but with the Blink Stalkers, I do turn around and just make him turn around, because my army really could kill his whole ground army, but then his Void Rays would kill the rest of my Colossus. So I don't want that to happen, because these Colossus are extremely expensive right now. I do have 2 more Colossus reinforcing. Right now I need to focus on getting all my probes back up and getting enough anti-air to stop these Void Rays. Some of you may say, well, why aren't you going for an all-in, because you just lost all your probes? Because, I mean, I would have done that, but he has Void Rays and I don't have enough anti-air to stop them. I don't want just all my Colossus to die to air units that they can't shoot. So I'm deciding to try to remake my army. We'll see how that turns out. I do have a lot of Chrono Boost energy stored up. I should probably not rally all the probes to that base to get some of this base, because there's still a ton of minerals here. Archon's not the best against Void Rays, but at least they can shoot Void Rays, so I do use my excess gas to warp in a bunch of them. On top of that, I'm trying to get as many Stalkers as I can. My 3 attack, never mind. So I was thinking about pushing out there, and I'm just like, no way, because I'm worried that he's going to have 5 or 6 Void Rays, and just focus down on my anti-air, and then my Colossus will just be free picking. So I'm going to continue making my probes back up, and try to get my Stalker army back up. I know my Colossus my Colossus numbers will probably stay higher than his, because he lost so many in the first fight, and I didn't lose I lost hardly any. So that's the one advantage I have right now. He is on 4 base. I am only on 3 base, and the probe count, as you can see, he's over double me, which is just terrible. So if we go back to the production tab, he's continuing to make Colossus. I'm getting more High Templar to get Archons, and I'm getting the +3 attack upgrade. He has the +2 attack upgrade, and is not getting +3 yet. He does have a Dark Shrine, so he can use DTs to harass. He does have a couple DTs running around the map. I was thinking about ninjaing my 4th over here, but unfortunately these DTs are set to go there, and they'll probably kill it. So he does have... This guy's got really good map control right now. He's got pylons, he's got observers, he's got DTs all running across the map, looking for expansions. I was about to put down a base right here. As you can see, I'm going to select this probe. Yeah, I'm going for the expansion, and then I see the DTs, and I'm like, oh no. So I'm thinking, well, I only have 1 observer. I actually don't even have an observer right now. But I think I have an observer. So I'm like, well, I only have 1 observer. I need to keep that with my army to defend it from the DTs, and I'm not going to be able to expand these DTs running all over the map. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to have to build up an army and go for an all-in, because it's really my only hope right now. I did build a lot of my rebuild a lot of my probes, basically saturating 2 of my bases, but then these DTs come in, and I should really run away these probes. I thought I had an observer, but I don't, because I got killed in the fight. I didn't notice that. So I'm going to go to this, Chrono Beast out of the observer as fast as I can. I'm like, oh no, this is just, so he's going to keep killing all my probes. Like, don't let your probes just keep mining when there's DTs there. It's a terrible idea. Run them away to another base. So these DTs, I mean, he has probably like 20 kills. That guy's at 16 kills. That guy's at 12 kills. So they have 28 kills altogether. Probably all probe kills, which is just, I mean, look at the workers lost tab. He's killed 54 of my probes this game. I've killed none of his. That's the whole story of the game right there. Because when you kill someone's economy, in turn it'll make their army weaker, and your army will be better, so you'll just win. So I have built up a pretty sizable force right here. I'm going to go out for my final attack. I do have 5 Archons, 9 Colossus, 15 Stalkers, 7 Zealots, and an Observer. I'm even pulling all my probes because I'm like, well, this is it, or I'm just going to lose. I'm about to pull my probes, I think. Come on. Hope in one more Stalker. Yeah, here come all the probes. Okay, so I'm basically know that if I don't win it right here, it's over. If I take a look at his units before the fight, he's got 7 Void Rays, a Dark Templar, 8 Zealots, 8 Colossus, and 16 Stalkers. So he doesn't even have the concave on me because I'm forced to attack him. Probably should spread out my Colossus a little bit more before the fight, but it's not really going to matter. My Stalkers all evaporate to his Colossus, and the Void Rays just wreck my Colossus because they absolutely can't attack air. So Archon doing his best, but it's not going to be enough. I tried to save a couple Stalkers there, but then I realized he's got way too many Void Rays. I'm just not going to be able to win this. So I say GG, well played, and leave the game. Reasons I lost the game was because of this right here. He killed 69 of my probes. A bunch of those were right at the end of the fight, so he really only killed about 54 of my probes. But he killed 54 of my probes. I killed 0 of his. That means I lose. I mean, if you 95% of the time, whoever kills more probes in the game is going to win the game. So yeah, if you guys like this video, definitely make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.